What's up, everybody? It's Fleek here. I'm here with Grant Singh, and I just met you right now, so I'm trying to remember your name.
What did I say? Think of the who?
Think of
the old white lady.
The old Betty White?
Queen.
Oh, Queen Elizabeth.
The Queen.
Queen Elizabeth. Hey, that's what's up. Queen Elizabeth is in the building. So I appreciate you guys for joining us. I wanted to thank you, Grant, for bringing her here because we were in the studio talking about some things we got planned to do and music and stuff. And then we start talking about holistic stuff. And then that sparked my interest. I was like, wait a minute, you do what? And I like to highlight different entrepreneurs, different businesses, have spread the word about you and what you do.
Perfect.
And let people know, where to check you out and where to find you. So if you can tell me and the world a little bit about what you do, also with who you are.
Absolutely.
And we'll start with that.
Wonderful. So my name is Elizabeth Joseph. I own Be More Raw, Be More Clean colon hydrotherapy, and I'm also the founder and creator of the Melanin Natural Expo. So basically, I've spent the last 10 years in alternative medicine, working with world-renowned famous doctors like Dr. Gabriel Cousin at his retreat center at Natural Medicine and Detox Center, downtown Phoenix. I was their official nutritionist for all of their clients, doing also colon hydrotherapy.
We met.
Yeah. Oh, is that is where we met?
That's where you guys have.
Oh my God!
We met one other place.
No, that was it.
That was it.
That was it.
Okay.
And I remember now, but I couldn't remember. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, that's crazy. I was trying to remember where we met. That was it. It was at the Detox Center. That's crazy. So yeah. So basically helping people reverse disease. So, I started learning when I got injured. This was, 10 years ago. I got injured from roller derby and I just got really depressed. And the truth is I just started smoking a bunch of weed and watching documentaries. But that injury opened me up to this world of information that I had learned was not only, unknown, but actually deliberately kept from the public. So things like the cure for cancer we've had since 1928. They don't want you to know that. But
Which one are you talking about? Which cure are you talking
about? The Gerson therapy. A German scientist was trying to get rid of his migraines, and he accidentally cured tuberculosis. And then he started testing it in clinical trials. They blacklisted his medical journals. So if you look him up online right now, which is a whole nother conversation because there's so much censorship. It's hard to find a lot of this information now. It's not the same as it was if you were 5 years ago.
I thought you were going to say Royal Raymond Rife.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, Royal Raymond Rife. He cured cancer. He had 14 patients who were terminated
ill.
In 6 months they were going to die. They said 3 months, something like that.
Yep.
And he put them all next to this oscillatory machine, which is basically it creates some vibration. And he had them sit next to it for 3 to 5 minutes a day, and they all got cured of cancer in 3 months.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, because I've heard cancer vibrates at a frequency. Have you guys heard that?
Everything has a frequency.
Yeah.
The words we're speaking, this phone right here, his shoes, the jewelry, everything has a frequency. Every organ, your body, the food you eat has a frequency.
And that's actually what I thought was really interesting when I found out that pH is based off of the frequency.
What?
Yeah, because I think when something's either acidic or alkaline, and or neutral, but typically it's one or the other,
right?
And then that's based off of or has a lot to do with its vibration rate. So if it's low vibration,
which makes sense. Acidic. It makes sense when you say it out loud, if you understand. But so that's it. I mean, learned that a lot of this stuff was kept from the public. My dad had heart issues. He had a few surgeries and a few stents in his heart. And so he almost died at 69 years old. I learned that heart disease was not only preventable, but reversible. And you can stop it in its tracks and completely reverse your heart disease, meaning the plaque that gets on your artery, it'll just go away when you stop eating the foods that cause it. And so I showed him one of these documentaries and he did. He immediately changed his diet. And at his 69th birthday, he was gave a little speech and got teary-eyed. My dad's a black man from a third world country, okay? He's from Trinidad. He's not an emotional man per se, okay? He went to school when they were beating you with rulers. So he's not emotionally available. So it's kind of a big deal for him to do that. But that was really the beginning, was oh my God, it's you learn this stuff. And I couldn't help but just want to tell everyone that you don't have to suffer that medication that's making you worse with the 20 side effects. It's actually killing you. And it's so easy to be healthy over here. It's not as bad as you think. It doesn't taste as bad as you think. It's not as expensive as you think. It's really much easier than you think. And there's many options. Like he was saying, you know, as the more I'm learning is like, there's vibrational cures. We could do juicing. We could do IVs. I could do herbal supplements. There's colonics. There's oxygen therapy, ozone therapy. I mean, there's so many ways, but the medical route, the conventional medical route, albeit great at emergency life-saving. If you get shot or in a car accident, hell yeah, take your ass to the hospital. You have a chronic illness and you're going to the hospital, they're going to kill you. They will kill you very slowly and you will be miserable on your way down.
They're not going to cure you.
You can't
not even close.
Life insurance if you take hypertension medicine. I found out because some of my family takes hypertension medicine and they can't get any life insurance because they're like, oh yeah, you're going to die. You're definitely, if you're taking that medicine, we can't help you.
There is so much data on some of these like statins or like one of the most dangerous drugs. I mean, it's just crazy. So I help people reverse chronic illness. So I've helped people reverse cancer, diabetes, but you know, autoimmune diseases are reversible. Hashimoto's, lupus, Crohn's, IBS. Almost all this bullshit is reversible.
Is it that
I haven't seen anything that isn't yet? I'll say that.
Is it the food that is making people sick?
There's many things. Food is probably the biggest one because it plays the biggest part in our lives. But 5G towers are one of them. The EMFs that are emitted from all of our technology devices are definitely cancer causing. There's data on that. There's been over 20,000 studies on microwaves, not the microwave, right? The waves, and how harmful they are, and
even the stuff you put on your body. Like, because I remember finding out that like
cologne,
about around 40% of what you put on your skin, you know, because your skin's your biggest organ. About 40% of what you put on your skin will be taken into your body.
In 30 seconds.
So you know, your shampoo that you use, your
conditioner, your cologne,
your toothpaste,
synthetic fragrance is super harmful. I just did a post on it. I have a whole infographic on it in my spa in my lobby. If I can smell it, it's actually already damaging my endocrine system, my pancreas, my hormones, affecting my fertility. Gives me headaches. I rented an Airbnb. I had to leave.
And you're talking about synthetic stuff in particular.
Synthetic,
right?
No, only synthetic fragrance. Yes, correct. Absolutely. Essential oils are a completely different thing because they're from plants. They're natural, right? Your body knows what to do with them. But synthetic fragrance, for instance, the reason you can still smell it, right? So like the synthetic fragrance in a bathroom, they're like, oh, it smells good in here. It's not. You're actually not supposed to be able to smell it for that long. If you smell a rose, you ever walk around somebody, they got BO? And they can't smell their own BO. You know why? That's because when it hits your hypothalamus, it's like knocking on the door. So the molecules are going, hey, what is this? Your hypothalamus is like, all right, cool. Let me see, what is this? Oh, this is a rose, or this is your BO. Cool, we categorized it and it goes away. You won't really smell it. Just like you don't smell your own house when you're in it all day. When you come home, you can smell it. That's your hypothalamus being stimulated. You can still smell synthetic fragrance because it's continuously knocking on it. So it will burn out your hypothalamus, for one, and it's just overstimulating it. So I met a woman once who couldn't even smell anything natural because her scent had been damaged so long because she'd been working in this building that had fragrance for like 10 years. And she couldn't smell anything. Her throat would close up. Now she has an allergic reaction. Her hypothalamus is damaged.
Wow.
Yeah. So these like synthetic fragrance are super, super dangerous. You're walking down the street, and our kids are the most susceptible to all of these things. But again, I speak with the most compassion and genuine sincerity when I say it is not your fault that you have no idea about any of this stuff that I'm telling you. This is 10 years in the making of uncovering the truth. They don't want us to know.
A lot of us, well, I'll speak for myself, found out through like documentaries.
Yeah, documentaries are
those
great.
Ones where they're just like showing animals getting jacked up.
Forks over knives.
And
Game Changers.
Yeah, that was kind of my gateway to like, all right, we gotta make some
one
changes.
That got me, what made me turn vegetarian in 2010 was called Earthling.
Earthling.
Okay. Did you see
one of the most intense ones.
They got a couple of seafood ones now. Seaspiracy.
Yeah, Earthling, because Earthlings go through each animal. Like it talks about, this is what happens to the pig, how it's raised, all these different things.
Each animal. They go into fur. There's an image in Earthlings that I can never get out of my brain.
Jumping on the dog.
No, the fox where they in it alive. Oh God.
Yeah, because fur is the only industry where they don't have like standards on how you treat the animal. So they
and like the standards mean anything. Factory farms, they're whenever you're eating meat, right? Their FDA has an allowable amount of feces and blood in your meat. Did you know that? Even though you can't see it, there's an allowable amount because they can't get rid of it because they're living in fecal infested environments. They're living in their own excrement because they're so crammed because it's like, well, we're mass producing this, right? Instead of, you know, whatever, like a happy farm, maybe you got 3 cows and they're like open to graze or pastures. Almost none of the meat on the shelves is like that.
What about people that want to make the change, but they feel like they financially can't do it?
Oh, that's, you know,
is that a myth or is that?
It is. There's actually a couple. I'm trying to remember what documentary, but they actually like break down the time it takes and they time and do the math. So let's put it this way. The longest study ever done, considered the most conclusive study on diet and disease, is called the China study. So in that study, they concluded that meat is casein, which is the animal protein found in all animal products, causes cancer. And colon cancer and meat had the strongest link between any diet and disease. So without explaining too much, we're going to assume that meat is unhealthy for this. Okay. So basically if you compare meat to like vegetables at the grocery store, what's cheaper?
Vegetables.
Every time, every time, organic or not.
Yeah.
And if you're going to eat meat, I would strongly recommend you get organic, because if you think you're eating naturally and you're like, I don't want to take all these drugs, blah, 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 and you're eating conventional meat and you're out at a restaurant, guess what? They don't have organic meat at that restaurant. If they did, they would tell you, because it's going to be much more expensive, okay? The organic meat is going to be more expensive. It is a higher quality.
And also, if I can interject, I think it also depends on how you eat, because I feel like if people want to go vegan and they eat a lot of fake meat, sometimes that can be more expensive.
Absolutely.
Like meat. But what I always say is,
it's a nice stepping stone.
You know, exactly. Like it's still really, you know, processed food is still kind of, you know, it's unhealthy.
Absolutely.
But it's better than meat. But
absolutely.
I would say that even if it does cost more, I feel like, isn't it worth spending a little more on your food than having to spend way more on your health later?
That's really
going to the
medical
doctor.
bills.
It's such a good point, right?
You know?
But I've heard that, and I don't disagree with you at all. I agree 1,000%. But there is so much pushback there. So for me, I want to reach everybody that's like, that's out of reach. You know what I mean? They're like, that's just too expensive. I want to reach the people that are in our hoods. You know what I'm saying? That are having diabetes, that are on food stamps. Like, how can you do it? I want to show everybody that everybody can do it, and that your health is worth it. But it's hard if you don't have $5 in your account, and I'm telling you to, you know, get something over here that's more expensive. You know what I'm saying? We might not even have to talk about organic.
Yeah.
Shit, if organic's off the table, let organic be off the table. But I'll tell you what, them rice and beans right there, they cheaper than that meat.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now. And you'll feel a lot better. The fake meats are a wonderful stepping stone. I definitely agree. You do have to change your paradigm shift and your perspective on like, you're worth it, right? And you do have to do that, but that's going to take much longer than a simple swap. So I like the fake meats because it's simpler. They did a study, and I don't know if it was really considered a real study, but on Vegucated. Did you ever see that one? They took Vegucated and I think it was like 5 people, so not like a huge data point. But all of what they found out, we already know from many, many other studies. So they took 5 people and they did all their blood work before and after. So they did their blood work and then they put them on a vegan diet. Now I say vegan because it wasn't a whole food plant-based diet. It wasn't a healthy whole foods diet. It was a vegan processed diet. So this dude was eating like vegan processed, you know, frozen hot dogs.
That wasn't Game Changers?
No.
Okay,
this was
something like that too,
this was in Vegucated. And what they did was, and their labs afterwards, still everybody lost weight. Their triglycerides went down. All their numbers came back improved. Right? You're still, again, the processed food, you don't want to stay there, but I like it because it's a stepping stone. It'll let you know that, oh my God, I can feel better and I don't have to lose the foods I love. So for me, those are the easiest swaps to make, right? And that's what I do with my clients is, what are your favorite foods? Everybody asks me, what do you eat? What do you eat? Like, they want to be me. I'm like, no, what do you eat? Me telling you what I eat is not going to mean nothing. I don't live where you live. I didn't grow up where you grew up. What do you like? You like pizza? Okay, cool. We're going to get this pizza dough and we're going to get this cheese instead. You like pasta? All right, cool. So instead of this pasta, get this one. Instead of this sauce, get this one. That way it's an easy swap. It's familiar. You don't have to go to a new grocery store that you've never been to with ingredients you never heard of. It's not going to last. It's going to feel like another restrictive cleanse. And if you feel restricted, it's not going to last. And I want this to change your life forever.
You know, another one that I like to tell people, especially people who like to make love, and that's most people. When I was watching the Game Changers,
please.
I thought it was very interesting that
they talk about this.
Yeah, they were showing how when these men, I think they were football players or something. They gave them
athletes,
some sort of athletes,
yeah.
And they gave them some food that it had meat in it one night, and they like measured their erections, the size, the width, and how long they had it for. And like in just one day,
meal.
one meal. The next day they had a vegetarian or vegan meal or something. And in just one meal, like they're the time that they had, it was longer, like by 30%,
bigger, better, stronger, longer,
and thicker by like one dude like 500% or something like that. Or maybe I'm saying it wrong.
It's so funny though. I love that those numbers were important to you, and I love the Game Changers for a documentary reference for men because one, it has a bunch of big buff dudes. So if you're worried about
the
muscle,
heavyweight champion of the world, or not heavyweight, the strongest man in the world.
Yeah, he was vegan. Yeah. So it's like it's gonna relate to men if you're worried about losing muscle. It has Olympic athletes, UFC fighters, but he's right. There's a scene in there where they measure the erections. They also do their labs, and they also show their cholesterol in the blood, and they show this vial, and you can visibly see the cholesterol and the fat, the triglycerides in just a few meals. You can see the difference, and it's way more with the animal meals, right?
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. So again, the meat substitutes I heavily lean on. I think they're wonderful, and there's a lot healthier ones coming out now. Like Abbott's Butcher is a great one. It's just made with pea protein. I got that shit in my fridge right now. It's so good.
And Beyond Meat is pea protein too.
Beyond Meat, but Beyond Meat has a lot more ingredients. But Beyond Meat is great, so try it. If you're open to doing a meatless Monday, try it. Season it. Give it a good chance. Don't be like, oh, it didn't taste good. Did you season it? Do you season your regular meat? Season it like your regular meat.
we are gonna have to do this again.
Yes.
In a much longer format because I didn't even get to touch on the questions I got, but I do have to meet with another.
Sure.
But Grant, thank you for bringing Queen Elizabeth in the building. Very awesome. Great meeting you. I'm sure we're gonna see each other.
Perfect.
Plenty more times.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Wait. Tell people where they can go to your website and find you.
Please, absolutely. So BeMoreRaw.com, spelled normally BEMORE, RAW, BeMoreClean.com, and MelaninMomsAZ.net for the expo. But if you go to BeMoreRaw.com, you'll be able to find all those websites. Go to BeMoreRaw.com. That's my Instagram handle, Facebook, BeMoreRaw.
Okay. And Grant, where can people find you at?
Y'all
Where are
know
you?
Me, Grant Singh. Just type in Grant Singh, Grant SING, all the platforms.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Thank you guys.
Yes. Thank you so much.